everybody. Hey, Chef Payne.
What's up?
I'm gonna make some chocolate mousse today.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we're gonna make chocolate raspberry mousse. We have a little double boiler going on here, and we're melting our chocolate pretty quickly and a pretty high temperature. To make this chocolate mousse recipe, and if you wanna just scan down to that recipe, this is the recipe we're using, and we'll make this a couple of times in this class in the first module. We're gonna use it to fill one of our pot de choux products, and then we're gonna use it as a cake layer. So mousse is really versatile, and I talked about that in the pastry theory lesson for this week. So I want you to make sure that you definitely read that. So I'm melting this pretty quickly. When you work with chocolate, typically you want to, the guide is low and slow. You want it to be melted at such a slow rate of speed that you can hold the bottom of the bowl in your hand without any discomfort. But with this recipe, I need this chocolate at 140 degrees. If I was doing candy work or couverture work, it would be much lower than that. But for this purpose, this temperature works great. Mousse is sort of a balancing act of temperatures, especially chocolate mousse. If the chocolate is too warm, it's gonna melt the cream. If it's too cool, when you add the cream, you'll get chocolate chip mousse, and nobody wants that. So Chef Payne has the heavy cream here, and she's gonna put it into our mixing bowl, and she's gonna put the whisk attachment. Whisk attachment is for beating air into ingredients. We also have our short rack here with a little sanitation water on it, so I would like you all to keep sanitation water and a bucket at your bench at all times. So, Chef Payne's gonna turn that bad boy on. Feel free to get that on. All right. While Chef Payne is whipping up that cream, she's gonna go to about a medium heat. I'm gonna come over here and talk about another couple ingredients that we're gonna be working with. This recipe calls for some type of a liquid. In this case, it's gonna be raspberry. This is actually black raspberry. We're using Chambord. It's a beautiful black raspberry liqueur. We're gonna use this to hydrate our gelatin. So I'm sprinkling the gelatin on top of the liquid, and I'm not gonna do anything but let it absorb. At some point in this procedure, I will need to move this to a heat source so that it warms the gelatin and it becomes clear. So it's gonna be real murky looking, and then as you warm it, it'll clear up. We're using powdered gelatin. There are two types of gelatin that you can use in the bake shop. Gelatin is an ingredient that comes from the connective tissues of animals. So if you are working with any special dietary needs, especially vegetarians, you want to use a different thickening agent. So it comes in powder and it comes in sheets, but in this application we're going to use the powder. So this will help us stabilize our, go a little further, stabilize our product here. Okay, so Chef Payne's getting that whipped up. We're going to just go on whip it. Whip it good. We're going on whip it. A little better. All right. Beautiful. All right. So she's got a nice peak there. I'm going to come over here. And at this point, I'm going to move my gelatin. If you want to take a look at how it's sort of started to dissolve, and I'm going to go right here. This water is off. I've turned this off, so you'll want to do that when you put your gelatin on top. Katie has a beautiful, if you want to show them, that's gorgeous. That's just gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah, you're beautiful. So really it's more like, see how it's kind of falling like that? So that's kind of like a medium-ish, pretty firm medium heat.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I have a little infrared thermometer. I'm just gonna take the temperature of this guy, 149, and that is exactly the range I wanna be in. So I'm gonna take this chocolate and I'm going to transfer it to a clean bowl. And you're probably wondering why I want to dirty another bowl. You all are gonna learn that I typically like to use as few bowls as possible. I want to move all the chocolate to the center portion of this bowl because the chocolate around the edge is a different temperature and I don't want it to create a chip. So Chef Payne is gonna help me out here and give me a little, just one little dollop. Just give me a dollop. Yep, just a dollop. So if my camera person can get right in here, you want to watch to see if your chocolate's melting your cream at the edge. If it is, you want to let your chocolate cool a little bit. But it looks pretty good to me. What do you think?
Yep,
okay.
Yep.
So I'm going to go on and add my first addition. Okay. Okay. And then I'm just going to grab this from you. So I'm just kind of folding. So I'm coming from the bottom of the bowl up. Yeah. Beautiful. And Chef Payne's going to give me the next little amount. And you can see how it's still holding its shape. So we're in a wonderful position right now. All right, I'm going to take the rest of this whipped cream. Whoop, and get this folded in right now. I'm going to come over here to my gelatin and take a look at it. You can see how it's gone from opaque to translucent. At this point, I know that we're getting close to needing the egg whites. I've used pasteurized egg whites in this formula. You can use fresh, but in this case, it's just a little safer. We get them frozen egg whites, and they're a wonderful product to have. So I've got my cream, and you may have noticed that I'm not folding my cream in entirely every addition because I don't want to overmix it. So at this point, since I'm really in good shape here with the amount of cream I have, I'm going to take my gelatin black raspberry mixture, and I'm just going to pour it into my chocolate mixture. And I'm going to get that folded in. So that's the next thing that goes. I did not scrape that bowl. You don't want to scrape the bowl. It can make that gelatin real stringy. All right. So now that I've got my mousse to this point, Chef Payne's going to whip up that egg white. She's really just denaturing it. I just want it foamy. This is a real classic method of producing mousse. There's many ways to produce mousse, but this is a real classic French method. That's beautiful, Chef Payne. Wow, you can whisk. Yeah. All right, go on and give it to me.
All of it?
Yep, I'll take it all. Beautiful. Thank you. All right, so this is the last ingredient that you're going to incorporate into your chocolate mousse, and then you can use it. Today, I'm just going to put it in a piping bag and put it in a little glass ramekin, and that's one way you can utilize mousse. When we're in class, we'll pipe it into a pot au choux product called Paris Brest, and for our cake, our mocha mousse cake, we will dispense it into a cake pan, and as it sets, it becomes firm, and we will use it as a cake layer. And that cake is one of your products on your final exam. So I'm going to hand Chef Payne a tip, and I'm going to cut a portion of this bag. Are you afraid?
No.
You know, culinary people are really afraid of bakers when they have anything sharp in their hands.
Yeah, they're dangerous.
Mm-hmm. They think we don't know how to handle it. She's usually right. All right, so we're going to drop that tip right into the bag, work it down in there. I like to fold my bag over my hand. And I'm just going to put some of this mousse into this bag. Now, if this chocolate had been too hot, this mousse would have been too loose to pipe. So you want to be careful with temperature. So you don't want your chocolate too hot, or it'll melt your cream and deflate your cream, and you won't have a really fluffy, nice mousse. And you don't want it too cool because you don't want any chocolate chips. So I'm just going to kind of flood this beautiful little serving dish. Now you could pipe this into a twill
Cookie?
Yeah, or Florentine of something, some
Martini
some
glass
nature.
would be
Beautiful,
pretty.
yeah. Martini glass.
Straight into your mouth.
Yeah,
That'd be
perfect.
great.
That'd be great. All right, so we're going to decorate, garnish with a few of these raspberries. I like the inside of a raspberry. It looks beautiful. It's kind of gives it a little different Yeah?
Beautiful.
Uh-huh. And then a couple of little chocolate cigarettes. And there you go. Chocolate mousse.
Voila.
Bada bam.
Beautiful.